Hello everyone, how are you doing? This video today goes out with a heavy heart to the John Barnett family, the whistleblower who they found dead in the truck. Here's John Barnett. It's a horrendous ordeal. I'm going to tell you the title of this sad video indeed. All of the data will be down below this video. In the description, you'll find everything. I'm going to try to keep this very brief. It's a somber time. A fellow quality professional who had to get out of Boeing in 2017, I think because of a medical issue. And we have his actual interview telling you about Boeing, telling you the fact. We tell about the quality end of Boeing, which Boeing has neglected since 2002, where the news media does not want that out there because they're scared that they're going to lose people who are flying. Well, you should lose people who are flying with the bullshit that you have professed upon your beautiful aircraft, Boeing. And we received this from a gentleman on one of our videos concerning Alaska Air. And I will say this. Attention, Alaska Air. If you don't have Goob, you're going to get screwed. That's a fact. That will be a fact. I can be your expert witness and get you what you deserve from Boeing. I'm just telling you that. And as David Foster Wallace said, the truth will set you free, but not until it is finished with you. So this is what this gentleman said. I'm going to read it to you, and it's about Boeing's management. When bean counters are in charge, you pay for your own accident. DEI culture, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion, culture overrides common sense, diversity, and rainbows. Retards and freaks who have no business around anything that flies, let alone metal objects and wall plug. And a wall plug. And I apologize for using the word retard. So let me just tell you, instead of using that word, I apologize to people out there. I know you get offended. So let me just say this. I will read it the way it should have been written. And I hope in the future that people, when they write me, rather than saying the word retard, let me just tell you what it should have said. When bean counters are in charge, you pay for your own accident. DEI culture, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion, overrides common sense, diversity, and rainbows. Their AGTR-2 gene is missing on their 21st chromosome, and freaks who have no business around anything that flies, let alone metal objects and a wall plug. Yes. So we're going to go into this, and we're going to show you from this side of the wall. And to John Barnett's family, condolences from me, from Guberman PMC, from GPMC, condolences to the family. And now we're going to go and let you know this. We received a letter from some concerned individuals this morning. I read it. It's going to be down below this video, or you can find it on my website, on my YouTube channel. But I want to tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, the Barnett family. It was not too far from the truth to tell you the factor about all of this mess, about Boeing, about what they're doing. In 2002, they sent out a supplier bulletin to all their suppliers saying that if you're AS9100, you have superb quality, just send us your AS9100 certificate as long as it's ANSI ANAB accredited, because Boeing sits on their board. Boeing demands it on their supplier portal. Okay, and Boeing demands it in the bulletin. A definite breach of the Sherman-Clayton Act of 1914 for antitrust, anti-competitive activities, etc. So I'm going to show you, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on here. They basically said to their suppliers, you send in an ANSI ANAB accredited certification for AS9100 for aerospace, the international standard for aerospace. You send us this certificate. You send us the parts, and we don't have to come in to inspect you. For 22 years, they did that. To make matters even worse, you have the factor that, I will turn this around, and here it is. This is the actual article in 2009 that stated that the FAA increased the authority of Boeing's commercial airplanes division to self-certify its own aircraft. Self-certify. What does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? That means they gave them regulatory authority. So when you have David Calhoun on camera bullshitting you about their FAA regulator, I want to ask you a question. How's a regulator watch over a regulator? Is the government going to instill a new organization that watches over both of them? Another government FUPA? Unbelievable. Look at the NTSB. Here she is. There she is. Jennifer Homendy. You know what she said? I want that information from Alaska Air. Thus far, I think she has not gotten it. They said no. Do you know why? They're an FAA regulator. They can go like this to the NTSB. And also, for those people who are querying, who are talking about the MCAS system, they are the FAA. They didn't have to tell them anything. And let me just read it to you. Authority extended to Boeing under the new system allows Boeing employees to perform tasks on behalf of the FAA that include oversight of testing and product standards, along with certification of aircraft technologies, right there, MCAS system, and new aircraft designs. So they're really screwed up. I am going to play you his interview, Mr. Barnett's interview, and here we go. And this is it.
7 problem. It's a Boeing problem. And I know the FAA's gone in and they've done due diligence and inspections to assure that the door plugs of the 737 are installed properly and the fasteners are torqued properly. But my concern is, what's the rest of the airplane? What's the rest of the condition of the airplane? And the reason my concern for that is, back in 2012, Boeing started removing inspection operations off their jobs. So it left the mechanics to buy off their own work. So what we're seeing with the door plug blowout is what I've seen with the rest of the airplane, as far as jobs not being completed properly, inspection steps being removed, issues being ignored. My concerns are with the 737 and the 787, because those programs have really embraced the theory that quality is overhead and non-value added. So those two programs have really put a strong effort into removing quality from the process. When I first started working at Charleston, I was in charge with pushing back defects to our suppliers. And what that meant was I'd take a group of inspectors and actually go to the supplier and inspect their product before they sent it in. Well, I'd taken a team of 4 inspectors to Spirit Aerosystems to inspect the 41 section before they sent it to Charleston. And we found 300 defects. Some of them were significant that needed engineering intervention. When I returned to Charleston, my senior manager told me that we had found too many defects and he was going to take the next trip. So the next trip he went on, he took 2 of my inspectors. And when they got back, they were given accolades for only finding 50 defects. So I pulled that inspector aside and I said, did Spirit really clean up their act that quick? That don't sound right. And she was mad. She said, no. Said the 2 inspectors were given 2 hours to inspect the whole 41 section, and they were kicked off the airplane.
They were kicked off the airplane. As you can see, when they gave supplier control over to the supplier, as long as you have an AS9100 certificate, okay, as long as it's accredited by ANAP, because number one, Boeing sits on the board of ANSI ANAP. They demand it in their supplier portal. And as you can see, unbelievable. Supplier bulletin, portal, and then you have them becoming an FAA regulator in 2009. They had 3 strikes, and now we are suffering with these quality issues like on a daily basis. Because what we say in quality and engineering is accumulating tolerances. If you don't go out there to see if your parts, especially flight, I'm talking about flight critical parts, are being made out of a garage in a swamp, in a mosquito-infested swamp and marshland, whatever. If you don't go out to at least shake a hand with your supplier and have supplier customer cooperation, those parts may be coming in defective. And all the person is, I don't know if they even have receiving inspection anymore. Many of these companies, what they did is they got rid of receiving inspection. The supplier sends in the document. They got a checker, checks the document, checks the serial number, and there it goes. They don't check the dimensions. They go like that. It's terrible. I'm going to leave it here, ladies and gentlemen. Again, to John Barnett's family, I send my condolences. My name is Daryl Guberman. I am the CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. We've had over 40 years in quality and manufacturing, 40 plus years. And it ranges in aerospace, medical implants and materials, printing and plastic distribution, 203-556-1493, or Daryl, DARYL, TQRS at yahoo.com. I thank you.